Ah. Oh man, that's really... Guys! Somebody unplugged my microphone. Yeah, somebody actually unplugged my entire hub. Oh my god, no wonder nothing's working. No, you guys, when you were playing Gang Beast, you unplugged a bunch of USB stuff. You guys, you did.
Yeah, okay. No, yeah, you can't just say you gotta make sure it doesn't happen. You do not unplug stuff if you don't know what it is. Okay, does this work now? Man, yes. Yes, kids unplugging stuff so they could play Gang Beasts. This is a problem. This is not acceptable. Is it, Orion?
Hey, I didn't do it. That was Sky.
Yeah.
It was. I saw her do it.
Yeah, I know, but you know what? You were there, and you're supposed to say, no, Sky, don't unplug that.
We didn't know she unplugged this one of stuff.
How do you think she unplugged all the... how do you think she plugged in all the controllers? Yes. You know what? Here's a hint. When Sky speaks, she sometimes doesn't tell the truth.
Dad, I need to count these squares. He's very dedicated. He's making sure he's not getting ripped off by a candy company. Yes.
How do you count squares?
So no, basically, like, it's these sour cubes, and it says 39 pieces, and making sure it's 39 pieces.
Okay.
I don't know why.
I'm gonna do this. Uh-oh, why does this not respond? Okay, 0.3 kilometers. 0.2 kilometers. You can plug your mics back in, I know. Listen, at least it's an improvement on what Windows used to be, where you would have to literally reboot your computer to make some of these devices work. Right? It would be terrible and embarrassment. We should be plugged in for sure, right? We should be recording. Plug and play, yeah. Plug and play is a godsend, except frequently it didn't actually plug or play properly. Okay, look at this. My margin, my target delta V is 35 meters per second. I have 52 meters per second of delta V left. So I'm kind of just floating in here, and I'm going to make another... That's me down to 0. So I'm now going to set relative velocity. I'm going to slow myself down to about 20 meters per second. Hey, so good evening, or good afternoon. It's 3:43, so technically good afternoon. It's Sandbeast, Rabid Fox, Josh with that blue .D cold reactor, Commander Gif, Black Belt First, Zoo named Quirdy the Pie, Hickens, Soccer Train. Hello. Okay, I'm gonna... Oh, actually... Just gonna move. There we go, that's about as close as I need to get, right? I was very... How do you not get bored of KSP? Well, I do have the issue that I kind of get bored of KSP frequently. But this is a challenge that is keeping me interested. So, aim towards the target. And this target hasn't actually... I hope this target still has power. Good. Oh, yeah, it does. Let's extend the antenna so we get power. Let's arm the controller. And there's my target here. This is the Pac-Man, I think. Aim towards the target. KSP is still alive, yes. I haven't played in a while. It's been months and I had a lot of cool stuff in space too. So those of you who haven't been following my series, where have you been? Nobody's been watching. No, my series is currently basically going to every single planet in the Kerbin system using a single spacecraft that has only 3 pieces. So, yeah, it's a bit of a challenge, but it's also kind of boring. So, you know, if you like to see me do these things, then this is what you want to... Yeah, yeah, extreme spacecraft is all kind of fun, but I wanted to do something that was kind of going back to basics. And this is kind of a back to basics operation where we are rendezvousing with spacecraft, refueling them, and sending it everywhere. So this spacecraft down here has only 3 parts. Obviously, this thing here that's fueling it has a few more parts. But I am not allowed to use extra fuel from things. How many planetoids have I been to? Well, if you had been watching the series previously on YouTube, you would know that I've been to the Moon, Minmus, Ike, Duna, Dres, Bop, Paul, Tylo, and Val. Right? So what I've got left is Laythe, Elu, Moho, Gilly, and Eve. Could I show you how to design own planets for KSP mod? You know what? That would be cool, except that I think somebody said, oh, it's broken right now. So I don't actually know. What I'm going to do now is try to figure out how to get to Laythe. Oh, good, excellent. Set as target. So it is slightly ahead of me, which is wrong. It needs to be slightly behind of me, right? So what I'm going to do... I'm actually going to boost this into a slightly different orbit. Let's just go forwards. Because we just need to make sure we don't end up accidentally colliding with this. So 1 meter per second should do it. Oh, crap. Didn't need to do quite that much. But that's fine. We'll not collide anymore. Now, what we've got to do is spin around until this thing catches up on me a bit. And then we'll perform a burn to bring us down. It should be about 40... I'm estimating about 45 degrees behind me. Okay, so let's try an ejection burn backwards. Add maneuver. Zip that out there. So once we get into orbit of Laythe, we then have to meet a spacecraft there again for refueling. So let's see how close we get. Oh, there we go. So wait, what happened? So that is there. That's closest approach, and that thing is all the way around there. Oh, crap. Well, that's kind of lousy. So this thing is going to be way behind. I obviously took far too long. Am I going to land on Magrathea? Only when I have chance to make it. Hold on. So, one of the things actually I can do to fix this is adjust the orbit so that I'm not going up as much. So I'm going down, and that moves these closer together, right? That's getting closer. 10,000 kilometers. I think I might actually just have to make this burn now. You know what? Let's just make a pro-grade burn now. It's 244 meters per second. It should be fine. So we're going to make a burn and take us out. I'm just going to eyeball this thing. You put a 20-minute space shuttle, what? Atlantis, if you ever want it for one of your scientific videos. Well, thank you. Oh, wow. Already there, almost. Oh, crap. What the deuce? Why is my descending node completely unrelated? Did I add like an extra... This makes no sense at all. I'm gonna cross these over, right? Oh, that's really interesting, actually. So I'm actually gonna have to perform some burn around here. Warp here. I'll do like a radial inwards. Radial in. Because now I'm actually changing my orbit too much. So there we go. Oh, there we go. Okay, so that gets us sort of approaching it, but not yet. I'm just a person that likes spacecraft. I'm a person. I have a degree in astronomy and physics and all that, but I don't actually have any degrees in rocket science or anything. So it's entirely about me liking spaceships. So what I'm gonna do is, this is my descending node here, right? So what I'm gonna do is add a maneuver, and that should then. You know what? What I'm going to do is add an extra maneuver here so that it will recalculate my encounter positions. How interesting that... Okay, you know, never mind. Kill that. Warp here. We'll just do that. So this thing is slightly in front of me. I'm just going to slow down until I get an encounter with it, right? So, and by doing that, what I mean is I'm going to go into a slightly higher orbit and eventually I should drift into its presence, hoping that its sphere of influence is large enough. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do, is I'm just going to forgo the whole Oberth effect here, because I kind of missed my opportunity. And that should be about fine. We'll find out once I get up here. Target position is... Oh, it's... You know what? I'm going backwards. That's what's going to happen. Never mind. Now I want to do a... Are we ever going to play Star Citizen? We'll play Star Citizen once maybe 3.0 is finally released. Unfortunately, the only people that have access to Star Citizen are the Ivocadi group, and the Ivocadi group are not allowed to do any streaming of any stuff, so that ain't gonna happen, basically. The last time I posted a Star Citizen video in 2.6, I was basically taken... The channel was taken over by white supremacists, who would make all sorts of amazing arguments as to why it was a fundamental, you know, abuse of their rights to have a character in a game which was not white. It was quite kind of impressive. I may be mischaracterizing them, but they were generally not nice people. Let's put it that way. Excellent. Okay, so we're going to enter here and come out here, and that's fine because we want to get into a planar orbit with that, and then rendezvous for the landing, because that's going to be the hardest part. There was a SpaceX launch... Oh, wait a second. There wasn't a SpaceX launch. There was an Antares launch. Okay, so let me just do something here. I want to see if I adjust my timing, whether this goes up or down. So what I'm doing is bringing the periaps down closer and closer. There we go. That is a pretty good encounter, I think you'll agree. So we're going to set it up along the maneuver. Now, Worth noting that I don't have any electric charge, any electric power generation on this thing. Yeah, they almost missed this. The Antares launch almost missed this morning because of a wayward boat, but they stuck with it. Okay, so I'm just gonna go prograde, and it should work. And stop. There we go. So now what I want to do is warp to here. Chasing after Laythe. Where is it? Chasing after Laythe. There it is. It's chasing after me, actually, because I'm going slightly slower. So yeah, SpaceX will be launching a mysterious payload called Zuma, which is presumably a military payload of sorts. Oh, look at this. Look at how close I am to the Laythe depot. Man. Set that as my target. Set as target. Yeah, I'm gonna fire retrograde right now and see if I can bring that down a bit. So hold on, I'm doing this right in the equatorial plane. So here we go. What are you guys playing over there? I'm hearing some discussion of explosives in the background. It's probably some game these boys should not be playing. Look at how close. We're going to come within 13 kilometers of that target. So now here, what is the best way for me to adjust this? So that's me heading towards it. So what I really should do... Oh, there we go. We're in target velocity mode. Let's just keep this. Let's see if I can brute force a rendezvous with this thing. Eight kilometers, that's right. Why do I wear headphones like that? Because I have many years of DJ experience. And DJs tend to have one headphone on one ear listening to the mix and the other ear listening to the party. So you're listening to two different sounds and you're trying to reconcile them. Some DJs like to have like one song in one ear and one song in the other ear, but I've never done like that. I've always been a party kind of guy. And when I say party, obviously I'm having a giggle at myself. Now, so you see, I'm actually flying in this rendezvous. Oh, there we go. Right, okay, so we just got a 0.1 kilometers. Beautiful. There's my target I'm flying towards. Does anyone say party and not have a giggle to myself? I'm always giggling when I say party. The other thing is I want to be able to hear what the kids are saying. So I can, you know, work on things. Work on their politeness or whatever. First time I've not been working while you stream. Let's do this. Oh, let's do this. Okay, that's us. Pretty good. Oh. Just fix a rendezvous there. P-A-R-T-Y? Why? Because I gotta. Yeah. I remember The Mask when it was a comic book by Dark Horse Comics, long before it was a movie, followed by a lesser movie, followed by an incredibly mediocre direct-to-video movie. But the first movie was actually pretty good. There we go. Okay. Aim towards the target. So it's target, arm, aim towards target. So I'm gonna have to land. So here's the hard part: is I'm gonna have to find a place. There was also a Mask cartoon series, yes. You know what? Actually, you know what might be a good Mask adaptation? It'd be kind of cool, I think, for Telltale. I mean, I know they've had some issues, but you know, that's one property I think Telltale could probably do a good business with. No, Mask and M-A-S-K are completely different, obviously. It is a toroidal aerospike engine, and it is kind of embedded inside the body. You'll see if I mouse over it. There, you see I've done some part clipping here. Yeah, I didn't get... What was the whole point of the mask thing? Was it like a thermoreactive mask or something? Decal? There's always some gimmick for toys. Some of them work better than others. Look at this. This is beautiful, huh? What are my opinions on the Principia mod? It's kind of annoying to work with, but it's really, really good to have. That's what I'm going to say. I'm really happy that that he's done the work on it, but I don't always use it simply because effort. Here we go. So now here's the question. Okay, so we're going to release. I'm going to point retrograde and fire the engine just a bit so that we don't stay near it. So now, the landmass that I need to aim for, what are my options? Basically, there's nothing. There's this. I forget. Does anybody have a decent map of this? Maybe I should just time accelerate to see what we can see. There's this. It's ideal if I land on a landmass. And the reason is, I know that my cars work. Whereas I don't know that they necessarily work on the water. Yeah, there was a Transformers one that had heat reactive plastic. It was thermoplastic, right? Yeah, that was a whole gimmick. You know, this might be better. I'm concerned that... So here's the thing. While I have quick saved several times, I have not actually... It's not been required. Like, I've not killed anyone. The only thing I did do was I crashed one of the refueling depots. But so far, the pilot has not had any issues. So I'm just looking for landing spots. I think this is going to be the landing spot, and this is going to be the hard one. So I think this is the one that I'm probably going to have the most trouble on, because I need to get this landing and stick it. I'm going to land this on Eve, but it will not need to take off from Eve. That's the bit that is important to realize. Okay, you know what? I'm going to go for it. So here... Warp here, 27 minutes. Yeah, Eve will be the last place, because it's the only planet you cannot lift off using a single stage rocket. Tylo I can land and refuel on, and I did land and I refueled on Tylo. Laythe I'm going to land on. There's a chance that I could take off from Laythe without needing to refuel, but I really doubt it. Okay, so let's F5. This one, if I miss the island, I may have a refuel. In fact, so I'm going to do an Alt F5, so like landing on Laythe. So if I mess this up, I can come back and try this again. So we're going to bring this down. And I think 35 kilometers over the target is probably the altitude I want to be at. I think 30... I think this will do. Okay, let's see how it works. What is this you're watching, Orion? What is the game? Just Cause. Oh my god, the kids are playing Just Cause 3. There you go. So here, the rotation may have carried this too far. If I land in the water, we'll try and rescue it. So here we go. Retrograde. We'll see where we end up. So that's one of the islands. I gotta keep my wits about me. Just Cause 3 is a good game, but it's not. I'm not sure about letting a 12-year-old play it. I'm just kidding. Oh look, what's that there? Oh, that might be a test thing. Did I leave a test spacecraft there? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I didn't realize I'd left a test vehicle there. I think I might have... I wonder if that's the one that can land in the water. I guess I'm gonna land in the water! Well, that might be the one that I have to go. If you looked at my previous episode, I landed on Tylo and I managed to put it down about half a kilometer from the target. But this one is going to be like 50 kilometers away, at minimum. I'm going to see what I've got in orbit, basically. Yeah... Well, let's see if I can land it on the water. And then maybe I will put my... I'm going to land... No, I'm not going to land on Jool. I said terrestrial planets. Terrestrial! Jool is not terrestrial. It has no surface. I'm not fancying my odds of bringing this thing all the way to this spacecraft. The annoying thing is that it means I won't be able to plant a flag. So yeah, I totally missed that. I'm curious as to how this will float though. Whatever happened to playing a flight simulator like X-Plane or Microsoft Flight Sim? I will totally do that sometime. What's my suicide burn? Oh yeah. It's 4 kilometers, 4,000 meters. Wait a second. Is that the altitude? Yeah, this is the altitude at which I need to begin my suicide burn. I can't swim that distance. I have to bring it. 80 kilometers. This is why it might be a very boring, long episode. Because I might have to move this thing 80 kilometers. But this is why we're going to find out all these things. It's the landings that are important. Refuelings are less important. Okay, and... Excellent! So I'm gonna Alt F5. Now, I'm curious, right? If I turn on, do you think I could fly this back into orbit? I'm really curious as to figure out. So the atmospheric altitude of Laythe is oh, Laythe, no. Oh, wait a second. Atmospheric characteristic 50 kilometers, right? So maybe this thing just has enough delta V to get up already. I'm gonna try this, right? But I've saved, right? This is what I'm saying. Kind of in the lower atmosphere here. And let's just do this. So I have one... Yeah, this is not going to be able to get into orbit, basically. But oh, actually, if I switch to orbit... Oh, no, 860, yeah. Now, the Laythe depot... Here's a crazy idea. Here is a really crazy idea. Let's try it, right? Laythe depot is coming up. What I'm thinking is that maybe I can rendezvous these two things in a suborbital trajectory. What do you think? Should we go for it? That is just like dumb enough for me to try it. Okay, set as target, right? So where is it? That'll be me there, and that'll be me there. So this thing needs to slow down to catch me. Okay, so that's me. Now I'm gonna set that. I'm gonna just set it to hold as target, right? Switch to. Okay, suborbital refueling is go. This is set as target. Okay, so now what I need to do is switch as relative to target. So where are we? We're there. It's there. Okay. So what I need to do... So what I'm trying to see how the speed, the relative distance is dropping. I mean, I had basically like a whole plane that was able to rendezvous with this thing and whatever, but I like the idea of a suborbital rendezvous. Like, who doesn't? "24 kilometers. I'm not allowed to boost while docked, no, but the spacecraft, once the spacecraft is docked, I can refuel, and that means I get enough fuel to get into orbit. Like, this is why I'm doing this, is because it gives me these opportunities to test things. I mean, okay. And we still have plenty of Delta V in the mothership, so that's a good sign. You know what? Here's the thing. 2 minutes to target. Okay, 340 meters per second. Will I let the depot fall to its doom? Not for this performing this act of heroism. Okay, so we're down to 2 meters. Okay, so 274 meters per second, right? I gotta be careful because I can't spend too much time on the rendezvous. The depot is not manned, no. That would be kind of crazy. So wait a second, my thrust to weight ratio is about 1G, so it's going to take 30 seconds to slow down. So that's actually fine. I can wait until I'm about 30 seconds out, even less. But it means that I can like totally go hard at this docking. The only thing is, it's just sad that I did not plant a flag. That's the annoying thing. Yeah, at least the rendezvous is barely on the way up. It's like 2 minutes, so we got a rendezvous and... Oh, crap. I tell you, you know what? I think my heart rate is actually beating up a little faster than normal. This is totally gonna be Hollywood. Have I stopped playing EVE Online? Pretty much. Not because I don't like it, but because I just don't have the time for it. That's really what it is. Okay, here we go. Okay, see, now that's going to be post... Apple Apps is there. Okay. 0.1 kilometers. Flag... Yeah, I need flags with floats. Okay, here we go. 151 meters per second. Oh, that's... No, actually, that's its target Apple apps. We're doing fine. Okay. This is so beautiful. I'm just saying, this is beautiful. Oh, you really... Oh, F5. Okay, sure, I'll quick save. Okay, that's us moving in at 10 meters per second. Okay, where are we? We're there. I'm not gonna crash. I am not gonna crash. Don't worry. So time to Apple apps is 2 minutes. So we're totally gonna pluck this thing out of orbit. Oh, crap! Oh crap! Retrograde. Ugh! I went and pushed it. We're drinking tea right now because I'm actually feeling a little sick. Okay, RCS. Now this thing is still aiming at the target. This thing now needs to aim at the target. Claw needs to be armed. Make sure it has remained armed. I'm going to disarm and then arm it because I've seen that bug happen. Arm. We don't have many opportunities to get this wrong, I guess is what I'm saying. We don't have much room for error. 0.4 meters per second. I need to go a bit faster than that. I can slow down once I get there. I'll slow down to like... We're not going to hard dock, we're going to slow down. Da, 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 da. 1.7 meters per second. Slow down just a bit. Here we go. And grappled. Okay, transfer fuel. In. No, they're both suborbital right now. That's what's going on to NRG, right? Both spacecraft are now suborbital. Okay, so now disconnect. Release. So this thing is going to point prograde. And it's now going to perform a circularization burn. I'm going to bring the Apple apps up to about 200, or the Peri apps up to about 250. And we're going to refuel again because I think I should have as much fuel as possible since the next place I'm going is basically Elu. Okay, now it needs to go prograde. What a beautiful view, huh? I'm going to switch back to target. Oh! Wait, what? I'm gonna aim... no, I'm gonna aim prograde. Actually, yeah, target. I want to aim towards the target. And then we're basically gonna catch up, right? Has 9,000 pressure hulls. How many pressure hulls does it have? No, wait, no. It's only this fat man that counts. Fat man is the only number of parts that matters. And yes, you have had every right to be skeptical in previous episodes, but I've just plucked this thing from a suborbital trajectory, right? If you're gonna cut me any slack, it is gonna be today, right? Okay, actually, that's us 60 kilometers out. Okay, let's see how we're doing. Rendezvous, 9.3 kilometers, so... What can I do here? I think if I do this, it might actually help. Let's try this. Because I'm going to go faster, I think I might... Oh no, that's going to... Okay, let's go anti-radial then. Radial out. What I'm trying to do now is ensure that I rendezvous with my target again. 6 minutes away from rendezvous. It reminds me, just recovered from a suborbital trajectory. That's one way to put it. Oh, wow. That burns like a rocket. I earned my steely-eyed missile man badge, yes. I'm just gonna say, yeah, that's totally a maneuver straight out of The Martian, in my mind. 6, 5, 4. Okay, now gonna get retrograde. So the core spacecraft has to be 3 parts, but I can service it with as many other spacecraft as I want. No time for caution. Yes, that's exactly what it was. I'm just disappointed I never stuck the landing on the map on Laythe. But you gotta admit that was pretty awesome. Why did we undock circuit? Because it's against the rules for me to use engines while both spacecraft are docked. Right? That's basically why. So the only spacecraft... This thing cannot fire its engines when there's other things docked, because then that would be more than 3 parts, right? So this thing has to do all its maneuvers on its own in deep space. Like a badass. Let's take a look at rendezvous here. Okay. You have the fuel in the depot. You should try again. Yeah, I am. I'm docking with this thing. That's what's go. Oh, yeah. Oh, you think I should try and land on another thing? You know what? No, I'm happy with this, right? Okay, I'm just gonna time warp a little. This thing can slow down to a stop in less than 10 seconds. You're heading back to Elite. Just wanted to stop by and say thanks for teaching me everything I know about how to play KSP. Commander Nikai, I will see you in the black. Which I think is pretty amazing, or pretty interesting that they say that, because of course, Frontier, the original game Frontier, Elite 2, had blue space, and people complained about it to no end. Plant the flag, otherwise it didn't happen. No, I should show you. I wish I could show you the spacecraft that I had. How are we doing? They're 26 seconds. Okay, there we go. Beautiful. You made a convincing looking Ford GT replica in KSP. Wait, there's a 2017 version of the Ford GT? I did not know that. Okay. And stop. And we'll bring the thing to a careful... What sci-fi and fantasy planets do you want to see come out in a KSP mod? You see, the things that I want in KSP, I want somebody to do Rama. Remember how I did that that live stream where I spun the planet Kerbin so fast that things fell up? Well, what you could do is have a tiny planet that is basically nothing, and then use a bunch of landing strips around and have everything land on the inside. So wouldn't that be a cool thing to do? Of course it would be a cool thing to do. Right? So Rama, you couldn't save because, as we know, when you try to save, things just explode. But you could at least drive around on the inside surface of it. Wouldn't that be cool? Learning how to land in a rotating reference frame. I mean, to start with, you could probably do something like the Coriolis station from Elite. Okay. Target. I don't know why the targets get cleared. Uh-oh. Bit of wobbling here. That's pretty good. Oh god, to get Infernal Robotics working on 1.3, you basically have to go to the forums and you have to look for the posts that say, download this DLL that I compiled against 1.3. It mostly works except when it doesn't. Which is, yeah, that's pretty much everything you need to know. It mostly works. Okay, so now, release. I think I'll go retrograde now. So I'm just going to make sure these things don't collide when they come out of time warp. So now we're time warping. The next place we need to go to is here. And this might take some time. I'm not even sure how best to go about getting there. I mean, I guess the best place to go is to start when they're inclined and then just synchronize. So this thing is behind me. Procrastinate while watching you stream rather than learning this damn object-oriented programming. I'm like not even sure how to start going towards Elu right now. Like, do I think what I'm gonna do... Okay, hold on. So what I would do, right, if I was gonna head... let me just see. Sorry, I'm just trying to think. Since I'm here, maybe I should just boost up myself. No, I think what I need to do is make sure I've at least lined up the... At least line up the inclinations, right? So rendezvous, Elu, phase angle, relative inclination, 6 degrees. Is that 6 degrees? I guess that's 6 degrees. Time to relative... No, that's not right. So I could either go here and boost that up and then try to rendezvous. Yeah, point to it, turn on engines. That's totally going to work. Absolutely. Yeah, I think I'm just going to wait until I get here. Okay, go to the tracking station. So this is going to take some time. Because what I want to do is wait until this crosses this here. That's pretty close there, right? Always watch talks. What would... Yeah, well, here's the thing. I have very limited fuel availability. So I want to be able to do it in as little fuel as possible. I guess, are we following Jewel? No, we're following this. How about with this? You know what? Let's follow Jewel. There we go. Have I tried Star Trek Online? You know what? I've tried it for like 5 minutes at a convention, and I remember some time back, someone from Star Trek Online was like, "You should come and play it. We'll offer you all sorts of fancy things." And then, hey, Demono Garnot? He just subscribed. He's badass. It could be a she. You just realized your last subscription ended. Hey, you know, Twitch Prime, yeah, just, you know, if you're the kind of person that has Prime and feels that they want to, you know, help with, you know, kids' college funds, then totally would not go amiss. But I understand there are a lot of awesome Twitchers out there that deserve your subscription, so feel free to give it to them. Just if you have Twitch Prime, don't let it not happen, right? Because it's good, right? Use this power for good. Man, this is going to take forever. This is going to take forever to rendezvous. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for... Oh, shoot. Hey, we got a lot of people subscribing. I wish I could set like a maneuver here. Twitch Prime subs don't auto-renew. Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get myself into deep space, and then I'm going to figure out where that maneuver needs to be. I want to give it to you because I really love your devotion to teaching awesome stuffs to people. No, it's not that I didn't like Star Trek Online, it's that I didn't feel that I needed to play Star Trek Online. And that is not really necessarily any indictment of the game. I mean, obviously, I've seen, you know, Dan Nerdcubed playing it, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I should maybe spend some time, but yeah, no, it's just not happened for me. Again, don't want to say anything negative about Star Trek Online. After all, I did meet somebody at Day of the Devs yesterday who was like, oh yeah, I worked on Star Trek Online and City of Champions and things like that. So And he knew me, so I was like, well, now I can't say anything bad about those things, right? This is going to take a while. Star Trek is the same as Star Wars Online and the rest of those games. It's all about microtransactions. Yeah, because it used to be all about subscriptions. Remember those days? EVE Online was one of the last games to oh, thanks. So I gotta give a shout out to everybody. So we've had Qwerty the Pie, Isarati, Streamy Beaks, and Cold Reactor all jumping on the Twitch Prime bandwagon, and they are also on the Discord server that I've set up. But yeah, you want to be careful because I don't have enough ops just yet. Just kidding. Sean C. Hexadecimal 0. I'm saying that. It's not Coxo, right? Because Coxo could be really weird. It's like Oxo? I don't know. The first year of Star Wars Galaxy before they started reworking Jedi and mucking up resources in combat. You know what? The thing is, Eve has come back several times. I don't think... It's not quite as crazy as, you'd imagine. This is taking forever! I want it to make one whole orbit. The best place to find the Discord link would be on the Scott Manley Reddit. I think I posted it there. It's a null pointer. Yes, it's many hexadecimal things. It could be many things, but you know what? Null pointers are just one way that your pointers can go wrong. So here's the thing: if I leave here, I'll be like totally separated from this thing. There's a yeah, no, it's embarrassing. There's nothing really on it. I was about to post a link, but Nightbot. Yes, okay, Nightbot. Yeah, I'm sorry about Nightbot. It's just, I wonder if I can post a link or if Nightbot will let me do this. Hold on, let me share it. Invite people. Let's try that. Let's see if Nightbot will let me paste a link. Oh hey, apparently it lets me paste a link on my own channel. Oh, now I need to make sure I add all these people that are like awesome ops. There we go. That's somebody that definitely needs to get rewarded. The only things I hear about Eve is the crazy stories about space battles that escalate and escalate to the point that they destroy tens of thousands of real-world dollars about ships. That is absolutely the kind of thing that happens in EVE Online. I'm not kidding you. Is there any way in KSP to use time acceleration while firing your rockets or thrusters? So what you can do, Gordon Twitch, is hold Alt and press the time accelerate key, and that will use physics warp, right? That will increase it up to 4 times regular speed, but beware, it can cause spaghettification. As in, it can cause many rockets to just start behaving like a wet noodle. I wish I could make this thing happen faster. I'm almost at the point where I would save and go in and edit the save file to get it around to the other side, because this is just taking forever. So yeah, there's plenty of examples of crazy stuff in EVE Online, I guess is what I'm saying. You lost it when chat reset. Really? Okay. But here's the thing, it's a Discord server, there's no chat right now, there's no voice, because I don't use voice. Sorry. Just, that's me. I think, yeah. How accurate do you think KSP relates to real-life physics and spaceflight? KSP, I did a whole video called Can Kerbal Space Program Really Teach You Rocket Science? In fact, I regularly give public talks at, like, planetariums and universities. Can Kerbal Space Program teach you rocket science? And there's a whole lot of stuff that I teach. Yes, I am using my voice right now, but I can't use my voice when I'm on Discord, because usually I'm on Discord when I'm at work. So I can listen, and that's about it. Use sign language in the voice chat room. Yes, sign language. I can't even see where my thing's gone. Something's gone here. Here it is. OBS. I don't want you to use your... Yes. Because you might say Beetlejuice too many times. I'm sure there'll be many trolls. They'll all be ready for it. Oh dear. I have at least upgraded some people. Well, anyway. Explain why a computer 4 times more powerful can't simulate KSP at 4 times the speed with the same accuracy as another at 1 times speed. One thing that... There's... Some computers... I'll tell you what, one of the first things you want to do in Kerbal Space Program, if you have a slow computer, is turn off the anti-aliasing, because that is the number one thing I've found to improve the performance of Kerbal Space Program. What have we gone so far today? We landed on Laythe, and then we had an epic refueling on suborbital trajectory, because that's the kind of things that I like to do. It was a complete fluke that that thing was there, if you think about it, which is pretty cool actually, that the refueling depot was in roughly the right place. I'm waiting for Jewel to come around so I can potentially get to Elu. I'm literally just sitting here waiting while talking with you guys. Yeah, anti-aliasing is the number one performance boost I've seen on a lot of academic systems. You know, when they don't tend to have amazing graphics cards, but they have decent processors, you can get a big boost just by enabling that. Okay. So yeah, I think AA is a post effect. Most of those are pretty heavyweight. Yeah. Can you see what I am typing? Huh? I can see what you're typing, Big TJH. I may just not be seeing it in everything else. No, that wasn't... So that was just an epic risk. I had saved the game, right? I could have... You know, and that was... It also meant that I didn't have to worry about spending hours and hours rendezvousing on the surface of Laythe, only to spend hours and hours rendezvousing with Elu. The hardest place to land and get to is well, Moho is actually really hard because it needs a lot of Delta V to get there. But Tylo is really hard to land on because you have very... When things go wrong in Tylo, they go wrong very quickly. Any chances you... So Kenzoku is saying, any chances you might teach us to program? You know what? I've been thinking that I might do a Kerbal RPC series on Twitch where I start streaming Kerbal, and I'll have a Python set up, and I will control the rockets entirely with Python. So we'll talk about how Python is, because, you know, Python. Anyway, yeah. How does that sound? I mean, so Python isn't... Like, Kerbal RPC supports a lot of different languages, but if I was to do something for people in general... Yeah, it knows Kerbal OS. The thing about Kerbal OS is the scripting is Kerbal OS scripting. At least Kerbal RPC uses scripting which is sensible, that is useful. It means that it's actually working with real programming languages rather than a Kerbal version, a Kerbal syntax. Python's very useful. I use it regularly, basically. I think, yeah, I agree. So, Real Major Lag is saying that he thinks that Python is the modern BASIC, and I am inclined to agree with that. Lord Hosk, you know what? I have considered working for one of those internet companies in the Bay Area. It's something I've given much thought to in the past. Oh, yes. Nemo Consequente says, if I physics accelerate a rocket under thrust while controlling it with Python, it doesn't become spaghettified, it becomes snakified. Okay. And so the next part is, after I do go to Elu, is I'm going to have to drop all the way down to Moho. And that will probably require a refueling maneuver in interplanetary space. There, year 29, incidentally. That's how long Jeb has spent in deep space at this point. So RPC is called Remote Procedure Call. What it is it presents like an internet server that programs can connect to, and then it provides a channel that they can talk to the program. So all Kerbal RPC needs to do is handle commands on that channel, and then the programs need to just have an interface that lets them talk on that. So it doesn't have it inside the game. It just has the I think it's a protobuf interface. If you crash a rocket controlled by Python, that is unexpected indentation. I'm not sure it'd be episodes. I think I'd like to do a few things. So you can use it. Yeah, it does C#. It does C. There's Java, but nobody should learn Java ever. You could connect it to a Twitch chat via a bot. I could. That would be kind of interesting. I guess I could read stuff. Okay, and I guess my wife is notifying us that she'll be home soon. So I guess I'm going to have to break orbit soon. Java is the modern COBOL. No. Because when... No. It's not that Java is bad. It's just that the people that use Java tend to be the people that didn't really want to do computer programming to start with. That's what I tend to find. And there's definitely many exceptions to this. But many of the people that I see interviewed that their main language is Java, it's like, I don't code in my spare time. If you were to make a Python bot to fly a rocket, you could totally get telemetry data and everything from it. Okay, I am now... I'm about to melt down Java. No, Java's... The funny thing about Java is it was originally pitched as this whole, like, write once, run anywhere. And that was cool, except that it had issues with security. What about R? Stats nerd. Or just use C. It's used everywhere. That's right. And there's many exceptions, yes. Like runtime exceptions. Oh my god, this is getting painful. I think I'm at the point where I'm ready to finally make this burn. I'm sorry for not giving you any awesome visuals at this point, because just there's not much to see when you're waiting for a rendezvous in the outer solar system, outer Kerbal system. Okay, so let's get back to this. Fly. Oh, you know what? I should have made sure that I was in the correct position with respect to... Okay, so what I want to do is I actually want to be here when I want to make my escape burn. So I now need to get around the other side of yeah, can't move faster than 100 times. Back to the map screen! Because we haven't had enough map screen today, we gotta get back to the map screen. No, do not terminate! Gonna time accelerate until he's here. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do an Uberth type assist. There we go. Fly. I used to use assembly. Oh, this is perfect! This is absolutely perfect. Prograde burn right here. Wait a sec. No, prograde burn. Oh, wrong. I need here. I'm gonna warp. Okay, so let's add maneuver. Uh, 672 is probably good enough for me. Let's do that. So that makes, basically what this does is it means that I can escape the system more easily. So maneuver, 18 minutes. Warp to next maneuver. So I'm deliberately dropping down towards Joule so that when we escape we need a lot less delta V. That's what I'm doing. In fact, what I'm going to do is just fire prograde. What KSP version am I running? 1.31 or whatever. Okay, so I'm going to just put this here, right click on this, kill my maneuver. I'm going to bring it down to like 300. Here we go. If you had floating flags, you could also drop one in Joule as well. No, I couldn't land it. If I had flags that would survive re-entry, maybe. Oh, PHP. People hate Pearl. I actually met Larry Wall last week. We were talking about Pearl and asteroids. And bingo! 500 F5. Now I'm going to add a maneuver here. So adding a maneuver here means that I now accelerate out of the Joule system with alarming ease. Oh, and in fact I totally overcook it. I probably should have fixed my orbit a bit. I might have to do that here. I should have perhaps figured that out ahead of time. There's too many sphere of influence changes for me to make this work properly. Did you know that so the kids are talking about IG-88 in the background, and I'm going to bring in my little revelation. Did you know that IG-88's head was actually part of a jet engine? It was the flame tube of a Derwent jet engine. I think I might add the maneuver even slightly further back. I've slightly messed this up. You know, let's go with that. I don't know, actually, I should turn off rendezvous vessel. I have 2.4 kilometers per second of delta V. Yeah, IG-88, they basically, when they were doing Star Wars, they would find pieces of hardware and stuff, and they would use them in their props. So IG-88's head was actually part of an old British jet engine that was used on a Gloucester Meteor. It was also seen in the Cantina scene, indeed. Okay. Again, I'm just going to shut this off and then view it when it gets to a reasonable position. I'm hoping I'm not going to have to rescue this thing in deep space. That would be really embarrassing. Oh, okay, that's pretty good. Okay. Well, so which one's further out? This one is further out here. So the next thing I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to make a maneuver change, a plane change. So I'm going to right click on this, and see what I need to make that fix itself. Good news is that it's only like 200 meters per second. I might be able to do this rendezvous without worrying about refueling in deep space. Okay, there we go. 294 meters per second. So now, aim at that and warp to next maneuver. Hey, Killer Quag has just subscribed with Twitch Prime because he is awesome. And Master Chupon apparently has tipped me at some point and I totally missed, so thank you very, very much for those bits. Let's, where is, I must have lost Jewel already. It has disappeared into the blackness, and I am now floating around in deep space. Jewel, where are you? You're gone. Oh well. I think that must be it there. It looks green. We'll see, I guess, when time accelerates, whether it moves relative to the other objects. Or maybe that's it there. Yeah, I don't know. We've lost Jewel. Poor thing. 10 years now to the next rendezvous. And we still need to figure out how to get to that. Yeah, Kerbals cannot die of old age, but I might end up dying of old age at the rate this is going. Is XJ220 still your favorite car? Oh, that is very much out of date now. Yeah, back then I was kind of cool. Like, ooh, titanium toolkit. Yeah, I wouldn't trust anything on that old webpage. That was when I was young and foolish. I mean, really, it was like 20 years ago. I was a clueless idiot back then. Obviously, I knew a little more astronomy back then. You'll notice those things you're familiar with in The Expanse, where one guy was fixing a thruster during the space battle. The spinning ball of things next to him was an old Delco navigation system thing. I'm wondering whether I should bring in this node here. So you know what I've realized? Closest approach is going to be there, and I'm going to be moving faster than it. So what I need to do somewhere... Okay, let me think about this. Maybe I should perform the inclination change maneuver here. Maybe, in fact... Okay, I've got a new plan. Add maneuver. Oh, wait a second. No, of course, because the maneuver... Okay, actually, I think I can do this. Okay, so first of all, what I want to do... Hello? I'm going to do this. That's my wonderful family getting back. Okay, I'm going to do this. Maneuver, and again, warp to next maneuver. How am I going to get off Eve? I am not going to get off Eve. I am going to spend my final days there, or have a spacecraft come and rescue you. I mean, that might be a nice follow-up, is to build a spacecraft that can pluck this one off of Eve. Bradley is here.
Those are mine. I just wore my sister's shoes.
Ah, there. Okay, that makes sense. Why do most Americans stream at midnight? It's something to do with time zones, I would imagine. Don't worry, there's nothing that you're gonna have to worry about. Actually, yeah, forget this. No, I am gonna warp here. Actually, I'm just gonna warp there. So it's gonna take some time. So anybody got some interesting anecdotes to fill the time that this is going to take? Just think about this. At 100,000 times out of the 6-hour day, that means we get about 4.5 days per second, which means it takes 100 seconds per year, which means it's going to take about 15 minutes to warp around this way. Actually, it says 2 years. What am I saying? 2 years to that target. So that's actually less good. It's still going to take a long time. Yeah, it's going to take about 5 minutes to get around here. Why is it taking so long? Because this is the maximum time acceleration that Kerbal Space Program stock allows, and I don't have a mod to increase that. Even though I know where I want to be, it has to simulate it all. It has to put us through this. Have I ever tried a circumnavigation by land? No. Why would I do that? Serious. This is stock KSP. Yes, the only thing that's extra is Flight Engineer and Kerbal RPC, which is here. So I get Kerbal Engineer, so I have the displays. How did you get into aerospace and learn all of this? I never learned all of this, and I learned this through knowing science and asking the questions that needed to do. Let's do a trivia. Ask the questions. Okay, what British TV show featured IG-88? Sorry, had IG-88 in the background. There you go. So IG-88, obviously, Empire Strikes Back, turns up in the background, but it also turns up in the background of a British TV show. Can anybody tell me which show that is? I am in the tracking station. Oh, actually, no, I'm not in the tracking station. No, this is as fast as it goes. Doctor Who? No, it's not Doctor Who. Not Downtown Abbey. Nope. No. What? No, it's not Father Brown or Father Ted. EastEnders, Red Dwarf? Nope, you're all wrong. Man, let me give you a hint that it does have something to do with Doctor Who, because the guy that was behind it, this show, was also, yes, the Moo Prophet gets it. Blake Seven, in a particular episode, in the background of a trash, like a scrapyard. This says it's going to take 1 year. I don't think this is going to take 1 year. I think it's confused. So yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, so in the background of one particular scene, you can see the head of IG-88, because of course it was a fragment of a jet engine which was reused. Now there's other parts, like I think Ben Kenobi's lightsaber, the part of it is also from a jet engine. Yeah, Avon is one of my favorite characters because he was just such an anti-hero. Terry Nation was a pretty good writer. I'm going to say that there are so many odd things about Blake Seven, but yeah, it's I love that show. Look at it online, search for it and watch some episodes, and you'll just see how low budget sci-fi was in Britain. So I'm thinking at some point I'm going to have to give up on this. How do I feel about Firefly? Firefly obviously has a lot of love. Right? A lot of people love Firefly, and so it's hard not to be swept up in that love. All the same, though, I wish it would have more, and whatnot. I watched Firefly when it came out, and I watched Blake Seven when it originally came out. There we go. The emitter from Obi-Wan's lightsaber was the balance pipe from a Derwent jet engine. And I'm probably mispronouncing it. Who's my favourite Doctor? That's a good question. I'm probably a Tom Baker, because I remember Tom Baker from when I was a kid. I'm going to warp here. 6 years now. Yeah, I was already out warping. Here's me thinking I was only going to have to warp for 2 years, but no, I'm going to have to warp for 6 of them. Wow, I programmed everything I with a 600... 670 lines isn't that huge, I'm just going to say. Firefly could have got better as well. That was the other thing. Firefly is awesome, and Summer Glau is your favorite actress. Isn't like every show that she's in cancelled early? Isn't that like the rule, that you put her in a show and it's gonna get cancelled? Yeah. Orion! It's alright. Mum's calling you. Apparently you had dirty stuff and your shoes were left on the table. See, I gotta talk to them in the background as well. You have no idea what everyone was talking about. She was in Big Bang Theory. Well, I guess that didn't get cancelled. The funny thing is, because I'm in CBS, the CBS building, they still have the Big Bang coffee that is from Pete's, and apparently they like it a lot. What are my thoughts on Lockheed, NASA, Martin, and NASA competing with SpaceX? Why would NASA compete with SpaceX? I mean, if you're talking about the space launch system, I mean, sure, I guess. Yeah, I know. Big Bang Theory has young Sheldon right now as a spin-off. So if you put Sean Bean and Summer Glau in the same show, will it be cancelled before he's killed? That is a very good question. I'm sure many philosophers will ask this and debate upon the nature of this for many, many years to come. Elon Musk could make a new brand of cologne and call it Elon's Musk. And you know what? That's not the first time I've heard that joke. NASA is not in the manufacturing. How can you get on the Discord server? You just have to join, follow that link and Reddit, and not be someone that gets kicked out. Seriously, I have very little patience. Does it really count as a show if it's on CBS, no access, and no one's watching? Well, apparently enough people watch Star Trek that it's considered a show. I haven't watched it because I'm just not into paying for CBS All Access. I'll wait until, like, all the episodes are there. Like, I'm hoping they don't do a Hulu and only have a limited number of episodes up at any one time, because if that's the case, then I'm never watching that show. And he did get fired, though, in Martian. But have you seen the DVD's extras with Sean Bean in it? It's really kind of hilarious where they turn the whole story around and how he got fired. It turns out that he ends up being the director of NASA or something if you look at the thing afterwards. Because remember, it's like, I'm going to expect your resignation, right? Yeah, the DVD extras are definitely worth watching for some of those. Oh man, this is taking so long. Oh man, we get some slapping going on here. I think I might have made a mistake in my... No, actually no, I definitely did it right. I did the right thing doing that interior burn before the exterior burn. The new Star Wars movies suck except for Rogue One, which was really the best Star Wars movie since Empire Strikes Back. Like, there, I said it. Rogue One is definitely a much more entertaining movie than anything that has come. And that's been a big, dry desert of not great Star Wars movies. I mean, I love Empire. I love Return of the Jedi. The big battle at the end of Return of the Jedi is... Yeah, I'm gonna say, like, the battle at the end of Rogue One where they do the hammerhead thing, that seems a bit... that's I'm like, oh, I wish they hadn't have done that, you know? But Ryan loved it. He cheered. I was like, okay, great. I think the first half of Rogue One's pretty decent. I don't know. Oh, yeah. Now, Rogue One has so much going for it. And yes, Return of the Jedi, I do like the battle, and I do like the fact that they did it all with physical models, you know, and the compositing work. If you watch the behind-the-scenes stuff, back then, they had to figure out the order that they would composite all these shots on the optical printer, and there was one scene where they had like 50 different elements, and they had to figure out what exact order to expose them all on the optical printer to make sure that they didn't like have one spaceship flying over another. And they still got it wrong. And if you look at the early, like before the special edition re-releases, there's clearly TIE fighters that are more distant flying in front of the Millennium Falcon in some scenes, even though they shouldn't have, right? What? Yeah, too many good, interesting looking Star Wars games getting cancelled. I'm kind of glad they killed off everyone at the end of Rogue One. It made it feel like a it made it feel like a real movie instead of a silly, you know, I think anti-normal is the way I want to go here. Ah, man. Any thoughts on the 3 new Star Wars movies? I don't know anything about the new Star Wars movies. Did Bill Gates and George Lucas learn to count from the same 1, 3, 3? Hey, listen, Nemo Consequenti. You know why Star Wars 4, 5, 6 came before Star Wars 1, 2, 3? Right? Because Yoda was in charge of the ordering, right? In charge of the ordering, Yoda was. There you go, right? See? Ha! Now you get it. Force Awakens is... Oh... I know, Force Awakens had many, many good things going for it. And I really like that it annoyed a lot of people that I wouldn't like. There's much to be said for that. Oh, it's just Bradley again. He's the kid from across the street. He's got real music talents. Yeah, I'm glad. $40? What are we talking about? Well, 40 years. Yeah. Oh, hi. Okay, here we go. We're almost here. Can you believe it?
I can't believe it.
40 years that Jeb has spent in space, and we're still not done. We're still working on this final rendezvous. And this might not be... If there was only a mod that made Kerbin more realistic by making it a flat disc. Lava Llama, if you were going to really talk about the Disk Earth model, you better learn to spell disc with a C first, because disc with a K was from the abbreviation diskette, right? Look! Look! Oh! It's so beautiful. So beautiful, we're almost there. Okay. I'm just going to stop it and then make sure we get it right here. What? Murasaki, you remember that she was already shooting people at that point? Jeb was abandoned harder than my Neopets. Oh. Here we go, 4.8 degrees, and we're gonna fix this very soon. Look how close we are! I wonder if everyone will be dead when Jebediah returns because of the twin paradox. Possibly. Okay, so now... Time warp complete. Are you gonna go anti-normal? That's not... That doesn't seem... Yeah, I guess that is, actually. That's 180 degrees, okay. So now... So wait a second. Time to... Oh, I need rendezvous. Time to relative ascending node. 1 day, 1 hour. So I'm gonna now move a little closer forwards. So I'm gonna get as close to this as possible to bring things down. If someone is interested in jet engines that I just discovered, Agent JZ channel. Why, thank you. What I'm interested in is the guidance systems of old ICBMs that turned into rockets, because I have a few different things that I want to cover regarding those. Okay, once again, get closer. trying to get the relative inclination, basically. That's close enough. 0.1 degrees. Okay, so now we got to figure out how to rendezvous these things. This is Elu here. And so what I think I need to do is adjust the orbit so that we encounter each other somewhere along here. So what I want to do is figure out where I can get an orbit that just touches, right? How about this? And over here. Oh, look at that! But what will be the relative closest approach? I wonder what my separation will be here. Right, okay. So this is where I need to be very careful in adjusting these things. 13 years away. This is going to be a really long wait. This is why I should probably just go off air and be with the family while this happens. Okay, so that's an encounter. So now, focus view. Okay, right click on this. Let's hope I have a thing in orbit around Elu. Oh, I do. I have a thing in orbit around Elu. Good, 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 good. Oh, crap. Overshot. There we go. Now, the next question is, will I have enough Delta V to get captured here? Because I'm going to have 957. I might have to do like a capture. I wish it would actually tell me... you know what, I'm going to just go for that. Okay, first node in 1 year. Well, at least I can do that one. I think that's a pretty good... I think that's a pretty good rendezvous that I'm going to have there. We're just going to cut around the inside and then... yeah, I think that's good. I think we're going to cross the orbit kind of fast, so maybe there's a better way to do it, but I'm just going for it. I just picked a place at random. Now. Warp to next maneuver. And then that, I'm going to save this, we're going to shut this thing down, and I'm going to do family stuff, right? What, much as you've loved this, there is nothing been happening here. It's just me like floating around in space for hours and 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 hours. A really long time. Like seriously, like we landed on one thing and then it spent the rest of the time. Okay, we did have that really awesome refueling moment, which is great because we're gonna edit that. And that will be... we can play like the Interstellar music. No time! Yeah, this is... it is interesting. We could definitely use like a times million times accelerate. Sounds like they're using the holy hand grenade in Worms over there, by the way. Wookie Goldberg, do you want me to say that we had an amazing fluid transfer? Your transfer, sharing of fluids? No?
He accidentally counted to 5.
I see. 5 is right out! Okay. So I think I might have to actually Okay, here we go. Wow, look, it actually overshot a little. Okay, so let's make this burn. And then what I'm going to do for trimming the actual arrival orbit, we might have to do something interesting here. I don't know. But once I get very close. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is come back and set this to like super low thrust so I can get this orbit very precise. See this? Beautiful. It's interesting that I haven't even got the rendezvous yet, but the last 1 meter per second is what makes it happen. Like if I just cancelled when it was green, I wouldn't even get it. Whoa! Look, even at super low thrust, we're there. Thrust limits are 1% of regular thrust here, and we're over there. Okay, that's pretty close. Oh crap! Actually, now I look at it, that's the way I want to be, because this is the... Hold on. Yeah, this is the entrance and this is the exit. I do want to be rotating in that direction, because that's where the thing is. Okay. And it's 137 meters per second to capture. So, F5, and we have to say goodnight. Yes, it does use less fuel. It just basically cuts the thrust down so I can make almost perfect... That's pretty good. I think I'll make another trim adjustment once I get in close to try and get closer to the equator. Yeah, pretty much he farted out the back of the ship. So thank you, everyone. We're going to be saying good night. Good night, everyone. Farewell. See you around. Thanks for joining. And keep in touch, you know. Fly safe.